call the June 27th special call meeting to order. If you would, please stand and join me in our prayer and pledge. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for allowing us to come together to do work for the city of Jackson. Father, we thank you for these council members who have worked diligently over the last 4 years. We thank you for those that have served and are attending their last meeting and those that will continue to serve. I ask you to watch over our cities. We continue to progress through the next 4 years. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Item 3 is roll call, and Marquise, you see all council members present with the exception of Councilman Cisco and Pretty. New business, only one item, is consideration of a contract with Ford Construction Company for street resurfacing.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. We took bids for street resurfacing. In your packets, you'll see the breakdown of the streets that were included in this project. 3 bids were received. It's a recommendation of the engineering department and the purchasing department to award this bid to Ford Construction Company as best bid. This best bid was received at a total base bid of $3,343,978.17.
All right, any questions from council?
We have budgeted
3.4 and some, obviously the number is 3.408, I think, or 3.403 total, because there was, the total budget for this year was just over 3 that we allocated, but then we also had some carryover from the previous year, so it was around 3.4 altogether.
Okay. I noticed that there were a couple of smaller spur streets from the original disbursement that weren't included in this.
They're back in there.
They're gonna be back
Yes.
in there? Okay, so that's included in this bid?
Yes.
Okay.
It also includes the parking lot for T.R. Smith.
TR1.
You're right, I saw that as well. I move to approve.
Second. A motion, a second. Any further discussion from council?
Mr. Chairman, yeah,
Yep, Councilman McKelvey.
oh, I'm sorry. Good morning. So the Pager rating, we did that approximately 4 years ago, is that correct?
2019, correct. I talked to Alan briefly today about that, and I sent the mayor just recently, like probably in the last 15 minutes, recommending that the city proceed with updating that study. Typically, those studies have about a 4 to 5 year shelf life. And the benefit of doing that is, obviously, the 1s and 2s now will go to the 9s and 10s, I hope, and then the 4, 5s, and 6s will move down into the 1 and the 2. But it's best to do studies like that about every 4 or 5 years to get a fresh handle on what's going on. Streets may decay quicker in some because of traffic and volumes and weights and everything else. So, but I have recommended to the city, to the mayor, that we, in either next year's, but not next year's, but the year after, I think we paid $9,000 or $10,000
Yeah, I don't
back
have
in
to-
2019 or something like that. So it's not like it's going to break the bank, but I think it is an important study the city should undergo.
I agree, thank you.
All right, Councilman Wallace.
Yes, sir, thank you. I just want to make sure that we've talked about the subdivision off of Ashport. It wasn't going to be on this because we were going to get the equipment for the city. So is that still possible that the city is going to work on improving their roads on Singing Tree?
Yes, in the capital budget that you all approved was the milling head, the Bobcat, and the wet pack truck, and so that'll help us with those smaller areas.
Just wanted to make sure they
Yep.
could hear that that was done. And also, I'm still following up on the yellow lines that hopefully when we do some paving, that we will make sure that our turn lanes are, the yellow lines are repaved. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, any other questions?
Yeah, I have one. Mr. Wolf, in previous conversations that you and I have had about the T.R. White Sportsplex, if this is approved today, which I hope it will be, is it still your goal to, and I don't know if you'll be here or not, but is it still your goal to have that paved in July?
The email that I provided back to you after we talked indicated that the contract itself would, with an approval in June, would start in early July. I also, in that same email, indicated that the parking lot would either be completed in July, but no later than August.
All right, thank you, thank you very much.
Mr. Wolf, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Would we expect this whole contract to be completed here before the fall? Or
Yes.
will this bridge
Yes.
over into the spring.
My understanding is, based on the number of streets that we are doing, it's not as an extensive project as we did the previous year, because we almost doubled it last time through. So I don't anticipate any issues on it. We're still there's one or two items that we still have to work out with JEA, but I don't want to do what we did last time, keep moving stuff around. If we start getting in smaller quantities, we may be able to add a street as a change order into it, but that'll have to be judged upon completion of the work that's in the contract right now.
Okay.
Any other questions from council?
Only comment I'd make, Zach, I appreciate, saw multiple bids on this one, and I know we've had issues with that in the past, but I appreciate that, and hopefully that'll continue, so.
Thank you, Ross.
Good job.
We did get one other bidder this year that we didn't last year, and that was Jones Brothers. And other than that, we had Ford and DeMint, I believe, were the
correct,
other two.
yep.
So we've got good contractors that are bidding on this work.
Mayor, one other question. Bemis has been pretty well, I won't say destroyed, but the roads have been pretty well damaged from JEA coming in and redoing the water lines and whatnot. Are they fairly close? Because I see some of the roads that are damaged in that area aren't on this list.
Whatever they're doing down in Bemis, I have an inspector down there. That was one thing when I came on board, that I wanted to have inspector on the paving, because I don't think you get as good a job if you don't have your eyes on the project. He's been down there working on the trenches, and once all that work is done, it should be fine, but I think it's gonna need to be evaluated, and that's why I'm asking to do the Pacer study, recommending the Pacer study be done, reevaluate all the streets, and streets like that, patches are good, but resurfacing and getting rid of the patches is a much better option.
And Tom, touch just briefly on the change in policy we have at JEA on the cuts.
Good point. In the past, we did not provide any inspection when JEA did their trench restoration. I got with the mayor, and we set up, and there were like 5 different programs that from here on out, I've asked them for compaction test results to make sure that the base is good before they put the binder down. I have said that the city may, but as long as we have an inspector, it will be a shall, but may have inspectors on the job when they do it. It's gonna be a 1-year warranty, and at 11 months, 1 month prior to the end of the warranty, we would re-inspect just like we do with our paving program, and if it isn't adequate, they fix it again. But I think there were 5 bullet items or something on there.
Yeah, there was
I can provide that.
compaction testing, inspector, yeah, there's several things, I can't remember now.
It just, I think it's best that we have an inspector there to make sure that the temperature is correct, the thickness is correct. Those are really the only 2 critical items on your repairs on trenches. Trench repairs are never very good, and they don't last very long.
Yeah, during the winter, it was pretty well like a war zone down through there for a little bit.
Move to Wisconsin and see what it looks like in the winter.
Mr. Mayor, I have one more question, and just brings up like policies and procedures. With your retirement in the near future, are you gonna have a policy manual or something that the next engineer can follow? And is there something that will give us the right to say, this is what we had approved? Are they gonna follow that?
Alan has been very integral to me working on this project. So Alan, I don't think Alan's leaving. He hasn't said anything to me anyways.
Better not be.
Okay.
No, correct. But he's pretty versed in what I've expected from everything. He's been a very good inspector, and he's provided me the information when something wasn't exactly correct that would give me an opportunity to address it.
Yes, Councilman, there is a record of the policies that we've implemented.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions from council? Council, please vote.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you, Councilman Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Nothing else coming before the council? Meeting is adjourned.